I'm in the town of Włodawa, which is the closest town to Sobibor. And I've had a picture in my mind for a long time, which I think is really quite significant for the area. So on this trip, I'm spending more time looking at the ghettos pre and post World War II, I suppose. And I came across this mural on my first visit, and it was very powerful. But the mural, which you can see on behind, is actually etched on part of the ghetto from that period. And over the last couple of days, it's been really interesting looking at the materials as well that the properties were built out of, but also how they're built. So fingers crossed this one will come out. It's quite a different shot compared to everything else I've took. So, but it really, whoever did this did a great job of showcasing the character of how these people must have, you know, I think everything's in the faces of despair, really. This is one of the streets of Włodawa, not the main ghettoed area, but apparently there was two ghetto areas within Włodawa, and this was the second, and it just branches off just down the street there. But when I first came here in the summer, I was in a cafe and I saw a photograph, large photograph on a wall in the cafe, and it was of this building behind, but along the street was all the Jewish community, and it was it was cobblestones, and it was a beautiful picture. So I've come back here to get a shot of it from today, because it's hard to try and create shots when you're looking for specific periods of time that you're trying to document, but obviously you're in a modern day. So I'm hoping today I've managed to get one, but we shall see. During my last visit, I was around the edges of the forest because I was concentrating on the uprising. And then one of the areas that I came to was this small village called Osowa. Now Osowa, I believe, had a working camp, and one of the things that I found out in the countryside behind that tree was actually a memorial. And I knew it had something to do with World War II, but I didn't quite know what it had to do with World War II. And I found out that it was a memorial to the local Jewish community who were basically murdered out in this area. So they was either brought here and shot, or there could have been a working camp just over here where they were made to work in pretty gruesome conditions. So it's a shot that I wanted to come back and capture towards the book. I think it would be quite a fitting image in the collection. So once I get there, I'll do another video and show you. So I've got the shot. As you can see, the camera's got full bellow extension, because what I've had to do here is I wanted to crop in, and I wanted to try and retain the forestry within the shot, and as I went wider out, the forestry fell off at the side and it just looked a little bit unbalanced to me. But I think this was a working camp. I'm going to find out tomorrow, because tomorrow I go to the museum to meet with the guys and carry on my work at the museum. But I would like to know a little bit more about this place, because it's definitely a memorial to all of those who died, and I believe it is local people. But also I've got a feeling there might have been a camp out in the fields here where people were made to work. To the city of Chełm to look at the areas that were the ghettos back in World War II, and it's obviously slightly different to Włodawa. It's a much bigger town. It seems to be more, there's just far more to do, probably more money here. But the street I'm walking up currently would have been one of the ghetto streets, and today it's just big housing estates, so it's quite tough looking for something that would have dated back to the period to document. But again, in this area alone, on these 3 or 4 small streets, there was 11,000 people here, mainly along this area. But obviously it was dismantled, or it's basically took away, and in place of remembrance is a large stone remembering those who died from here. There's one of the people that I've been documenting, Esther Rabb. Esther Rabb was from Chełm, so she would have been in this area before she was then deported on to Sobibor. But yeah, it's much bigger than the other towns I visited. And just to quickly show you, here is the memorial. So basically this would have been the main part of the ghetto.